Welcome back to another episode of me making a game in Unity using C#, a game about building a village. In the last episode I was able to get the AI to kind of still move around. They're sleeping on the ground, they're creating food, they're working at a job. And so what I thought for today is to kind of change gears a little bit and just work on some parallaxing scrolling in our game. I know it's probably not needed right now in our game or in the game I'm making right now, but I want to kind of put it in, kind of add a little flavor to the scene. So what I've done is I've added some background elements, and let's just put this in our scene. Let's not look at this right now. Just put this in our scene. Alright, kind of crude background. Let's have that one. Let's have this one. Let's put this in, and let's see. Well, let's do that for now. I do have some clouds. I'll do that later. So parallaxing, if you're not aware of, and I would suggest that if you're wanting to do parallaxing, you might want to watch some YouTube videos. There might be some good ones out there on how to do it. But basically parallaxing is as the camera's moving or the character's moving, the elements in the background will kind of move, at different amount of speeds. So like this background right here, the one further away would slowly move across the screen, and then the next one here would go a little bit quicker, and then this one here, the one that's closest would go about the same amount, or I mean a little bit slower, but not as slow as the other two. And so it gives kind of this illusion of depth to your scene. So one way to do that is to actually, and Unity kind of changed their setup a little bit, change this to 3D. One way to kind of do this is take each element and move it further back, kind of like that, kind of like that. And if we look at our game scene, like that. Click on our camera. You cannot tell, can you? Nope, cannot tell. Well, we would have to change our camera to maybe perspective. Okay, now watch this. You see? Can I see how it adds that parallaxing effect? Now these things aren't lined up correctly. I have to go into this background, make it larger, make these larger than what they really are. But that's kind of one way to do parallaxing, just like this. That is not how we're going to do it though. So let's kind of undo all that. Okay, let's go back to 2D. Alright, and you can see again, if I go to my main camera, if I move it, it's not changing it. We're going to actually code this. And you know what? This is kind of a testing out how to figure this out. Like I said, you could probably find some tutorials out there on how to code parallaxing effect. but we're just going to try to figure it out on our own. Let's see, let's go to our maybe we'll put this in our managers. Let's create a script. Parallax. There's two L's. Let's call it Parallax Layer, maybe. All right. Let me go. Hey, let me load that up. We'll leave this stuff here for now. All right. So the idea, I'm going to go into this Myra board. It's free. You can sign up. It's kind of a nice little tool you can use. I've written down some things in a previous episode, but let's just go down here and let's think about this a little bit. We have our background element 1, and then our background element 2. Maybe you have a character. You have your plane here. Okay. So as this is moving to the right on the screen, this appears to move to the left, even though it technically doesn't move. As this one moves to the right, or if it's your camera, it's moving to the right. The things, the other stuff, it's not moving. Like their X and Y is not changing. However, on the screen, it looks like they're moving to the left. So if our character says goes 10 units on the screen, this has moved 10 units to the left. So maybe this was a plus 10 and this went a minus 10 on the screen, although the X didn't change. So the X was 0. Even though on the screen it looks like it moves 10 units, the X doesn't change. So kind of what I'm thinking of doing is every time that the camera moves, instead of going, maybe this first element, instead of going on screen a minus 10, what if we take our X and we add 1 to our X? So then if we add 1 to our X, the on screen would be a minus 9 instead of the 10 like it was supposed to. Or if we want something to move slower, we could do, let's say, a plus 5. This would be half of the amount, and then this would move a minus 5 instead, at least on the how it would appear on the screen. We're not going to change the screen coordinates, we're just going to change the X coordinate according to how much we've moved. And we could do this by a percentage. So the percent of the movement of the camera, we would subtract or add that to our X value. I think that's right. Yeah, because we want it to kind of, our X needs to move this way, but then the screen would appear to still move to the left. I put some thought into this, and I don't know if this will work or not, but this is how I think we could do this. Alright, let's get rid of the update. Let's do a public float percent move. And we'll just put it to 0 F for now. Actually 1F. 1F would be the full amount. Actually it's not really going to be the full amount, but it's going to add the full amount. And let's do public void move. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. So how do we want to do this? We want to say transform dot position is equal to new vector 2. Alright, float new x is equal to transform dot position dot x plus, and we're going to do, so if I write the code here, kind of take the x position and add a percent of the camera movement, and we are going to do a vector 2 camera move. So we want to say plus the camera move dot position. Here, let's do another float. Call it move percent, and this is going to equal to the camera move. So I'm just trying to get a percentage of the camera's movement, and in order to do that, we're going to times it by our percent. So we need to say x. We could probably just say float here. Just do a float, and we'll call it camera move. So if we move 10 and our percent was a 0.5, that would give us a 5 movement. And so we're going to take our new x is going to be our current transform position. So let's say it was 0, and we're going to take it and add our camera move to it. So if we had moved 10 units, times it by the percent, which would be 0.5, which would give us a 5, and then we would add the 5. Okay. Alright, so now in our transform position, we want to say new x, comma, transform dot position dot y. Don't change that. Alright, let's save it. And let's go to our click detector. And here, actually, let's go to our map manager. We love using lists in our game. All the background layers. So we're going to have a public list. We're going to create different layers for the different speeds that we want for our parallaxing. So we're going to get a list of all the different layers. These are going to be game objects, and we're going to say parallax. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. Parallax layers. Actually, let's not do a game object. Let's do parallax layer. Alright, so we got a list of those. Now in our click detection, we have this right here makes the screen move. Okay, so how much did we move? We moved this amount right here when we go to the right. So let's do a float move amount. We're going to put this in a variable. Let's delete that. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. We're translating. Do I want to do it this way? Let's get rid of this. This is the amount we're moving. And then down here, we're moving this amount, but we're doing a minus this amount. Okay. Again, we're just testing this out, trying to figure out whether this is correct or not. So now we want to, we can either put it in here, or we can make another function. Private void move background for each parallax layer in parallax layer in map manager dot instance dot parallax layers. You know, let's just do that. I'm going to put this in the map manager because it seems like this is something the map manager should be doing, not the click detector. So map manager, let's just scroll down to the bottom here. So we can get rid of this, and we're going to take a float move amount, and let's go to, let's change camera move, let's say move amount. Okay. So what we're going to do in our map manager, we want to loop through all of our parallax layers, and we're going to call that function .move, and we're going to send it this move amount. Alright, I'm just wanting to double check. I need to call this now from our click detector, which is a terrible name because we're not even clicking, but so here we want to say map manager.instance. Let's call that function what did I call it? No? Oh, what did I just call it? Move background. Okay. Move backgrounds. Move background. So let's go back to the click detector. Tap. Move. Did I not make it public? I sure didn't. And we want to give it this move amount. We want to do the same thing. We go this way. Alright, let's save it. Let's test this out. So let's go to our background 1. Let's change this to Parallax Layer 1. Again, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if we have to do something different, but we're testing this out. And we're going to give this a percentage of a 0.9. Actually, which layer is this? Yeah. And let's do this one. Parallax. Layer 2. 1, 2, and let's add that parallax layer, and it's going to be 0.8. Let's do this last one. 0.7. Don't know if that's enough, but we'll see. Parallax layer 3. Let's see. Let's go to our map manager. We gotta add these, all those components. Can't even do that like that. Whatever. Parallax layers. 1, 2, and 3. So we should test this out. Let's play it. Should see it maybe. I don't know. And nope. It is moving, but it is not parallaxing. Okay. So let's see. Move background. Let me go to this. Let me move this transform x plus the move amount. Let's just debug this. Debug.log move amount plus move percent. Here. This is why. Percent. I'm spelling percent wrong. Okay, stop that. Is that it? I don't know. Am I forgetting to do something with? Okay, look at that. You can see it. Are we going in the wrong direction though? Are we going in the wrong direction? I moved this way. No, I just have it backwards. We want this one to be the least amount, so this would be like a 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. Okay, yeah, that is spiffy. Look at that. I didn't think this would work. Look, they're sleeping. They gotta do something, right? They're like, this is boring, but it's kind of cool. Now it doesn't look that great because we only have like one element. But if we go to this, the reason why we don't want to add the sprite renderer here. What we want to do is first let's make these all at 0, 0, 0, and let's remove this component. Okay, we don't want to see anything. So remove all of these and make these back to 0, 0, 0. I don't know why. Yeah, make them all back to 0. I could have also right-clicked and click reset and resets it. And let's remove the sprite renderer. What we want to do instead is in this, let's go to our sprites. Each layer we add a new game object. You see, called background 1. And then we want to position this, wherever. So let's Control C. Let's paste another one of those. Put it here. All right, I gotta fix that kind of tile, and it looks it's a little off. Let's do another one. Let's just do it over here. Oops. Hope you can see this on the screen. All right, and then we'll go to layer 2. We'll add in this background. Do kind of the same thing. Control C, Control V. Control V. Just kind of copy some more of them. Alright, and then wait. Yeah, that's the layer. So everything in this layer will move along with this. So this is what's being moved. These are not being moved, but everything in this layer will move with this. And then let's do this one. This one will definitely not look correct. It kind of looks weird, but let's just do it for now. Okay. Now, one thing that we're going to need to do is in each of these, let's create a new sort layer, and let's call it Parallax Background. And let's move this behind the ground. And we're going to test this, but Parallax Foreground. Alright, so let's go to each of these, and I'm going to select all of these. We're going to change the sort layer to Parallax Background. And then we'll do the same thing with these ones. Parallax Background, but we want to say order is 1. And then we'll do the same thing with this, Parallax Background, and change this to 2. Do I have that wrong? Oh, this doesn't look good. Move these down. Okay, I got these backwards. This should be 3 because it's the closest. This should be 3, 2, 1. And now let's move those back up so we can see them. Okay. Now you're probably going to want to fix like the graphics. Let's see how that's working. Alright. So we got kind of a parallax background. Now we might want to change things up a little bit. We could see in this background, let's see, this is moving at 0.1. Maybe we do 0.3 and make this 6, make this 9. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, we get the effect a little bit better. One thing we can do too is let's go to here and just move these down a little bit more. Whoops. Move all these down a little bit more. Alright, that's a little bit better. Let's add that. So you can really see, yeah, you can really see the parallaxing when you have this stuff that's not doing it. That is kind of cool. Alright. I'm surprised that worked. I mean, I thought through it. Now this looks terrible when you do the full screen, but just because we don't have this stretching out, this right here, we gotta work on that tiling, make sure that those line up better. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Now what about the foreground? What if we had something in front of our characters? Let's copy this one, and we're going to test something. We're going to say a 1.3, and we're going to change the layers, this to this, and change this to the foreground layer. Alright, which ones did I copy? Here, let me delete those. Let me copy these. And you know, we might want to do. Whoops. Alright, sorry about that. Not sure what happened. So we were copying these over to this. Let's change this to Parallax. We'll probably name these like Parallax Foreground Layer Foreground 1. And let's move these down. And let's change their to that. So now they're in the foreground. And we probably want to make them a little bit darker. Alright, let's see if this should, because it's closer, this should technically appear to move faster than the elements that are in the scene. Right? If we do this, no, it doesn't. Oh, you know what? I didn't add it to the map manager. We add this. It should. Yeah, you see how it kind of moves? Is that correct? It seems to be going in the opposite direction. So we don't want that. I mean, honestly, I don't want things in the foreground like this, because it kind of covers them up. I mean, unless we had like a little bit more space, like we move all of this up, so when the characters are ever on the screen, they'll never be so low where you can't see them. So these are going in the opposite direction. and that's not what we want. We want them to actually go. Am I correct with that? Because really what we wanted to do, if I go back to that Miro board, things in the foreground, if this moves 10, okay, there's my little eraser. So if this is going minus 10, this, if it's quicker, should go minus 11, right? And that's not what this is doing. So let's go to here. Instead of that, what if we did a negative 0.3? See if that would work. There we go. That's what we want. Yep. It's moving faster. Look at that. We just did a parallax effect using coding. And I hopefully by me going through that process and going through, showing this and actually trying to figure it out, hopefully that helps you to kind of understand what's going on. Let's just do this real quick because this is driving me crazy. Let's copy both of these. Oops, come on. Control C, Control C. And let's just paste these in and add some more ground. Control V, add some more ground. Now let's see it. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. My edge is very sensitive. You gotta get really close to the edge. Probably should change that a little bit. But there you go. You got parallaxing. And I kind of like that. Alright. Well, thanks for watching. I'm glad this worked out the first time. We didn't really have any troubles with it. Hopefully you understood the math. And I will see you next time.